Calgary Flames have arguably their biggest matchup of the season tonight against the Vancouver Canucks as both teams are pushing for a playoff spot. It's going to be tense, physical, and emotional, so the Flames have prepared for a dogfight by making some moves. We have multiple updates to talk about, but before we get into that, I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. And before we get into the big hockey talk, I do have a special message for you. March is one of my favorite times of the year, and that is because March Madness is here. And that's why I'm very excited to announce that we are kicking off a March Madness bracket for the channel. We've partnered with the Hot Takes app and other digest channels for this event. It's completely free to sign up. Just download the Hot Takes app, click the March Madness banner at the top, and under group select the Digest Media Pool. This is really exciting as there are over $35,000 in prizes to be won. And since there's a much smaller pool of people participating, there's a real chance in winning big compared to other bracket challenges out there. Check out the link below or scan the QR code to download the app, and make sure to use the promo code DIGEST in all caps to get exclusive perks when signing in. Again, it is completely free to sign up. If you have any issues signing in, you can go ahead and check the email down below and we will be able to help you out, and we cannot wait to see you in the bracket challenge. It would mean a lot if you guys did check that out. It should be super, super fun. Get some hockey fans in on a March Madness bracket as well. Super, super thankful to Hot Takes for helping support the channel. Seriously, you guys should join the Digest group. But let's hop into the multiple updates that we have to talk about. And I gotta be honest, there's one kind of major one, I guess, here, because it's interesting because it plays a part in kind of the rest of the season here. And what it is actually that the Flames have recalled Adam Klapka from the Wranglers, which I know a lot of people will say, what, that's happened, like 10 times this year? How's that very special at all? It's special because you only get a limited amount of these kind of transactions remaining after the deadline in the season. And who knows, Klapka could potentially be a good help to the Flames. I know a lot of people would rather see him in the lineup than maybe some other people in the lineup. I gotta say, Kevin Rooney has been playing, a little bit better lately. We gotta give him credit, and he's a good player on a playoff team, a lot of people think as well. But Klapka, you never know, could slot in at different times. There is the side of, would we rather have him playing meaningful hockey with the Wranglers? It's definitely a debate, but here's kind of an explanation of it. So per the club, the Flames have recalled Adam Klapka from the Wranglers. That uses up one of their 4 post-deadline regular recalls. So the active roster is up to 22 players with 2 goalies, 7 defensemen, and 13 forwards, including making the team out of camp. This is Klapka's 6th stint on the NHL roster this season. We obviously saw him last year a little bit as well, but 6 times he has been called up. Not every stint has he actually played games as well, which is interesting, but he does have a good few games this year. I just want to kind of call back there to the 1 of 4 post-deadline regular recalls. If you know the full explanation of what a regular one is, please feel free down in the comments. You guys are very knowledgeable. But to my knowledge, essentially what it means is that the Flames only get 4 4 recalls after the deadline that don't include some sort of injury or absence or something like that. So the Flames have used 1. It'll be interesting to see if they do want to call up other people towards the end of the season. It's not a bad idea to save some of them if the Flames fall out of the playoff picture and you want to give certain guys some NHL time, especially ones that haven't come up yet, guys like Stromgren, Morton, Bruce Stevich even, etc. But there you go. That's kind of, I guess, the biggest update of this. The other update I wanted to give was the lines for tonight. No, they're not very different from what they've been before, which is an update on its own. It almost seems like there's different lines every night. But the Flames lines tonight versus Vancouver go as follows. Huberdeau, Kadri, and Coronato remain together. Farabee really starting to gel with Backlund and Coleman. They're playing well lately. Sharkey, Frost, and Pospisil, they remain together, and very interesting line the way they have played lately. And then Lomberg, Rooney, and Zary. So I guess an update sort of isn't really an update. It's just saying this is the same as it was, but Zary still on the 4th line. So in that way, I guess it is an update for you guys. The D pairings remain the same as well. Hanley with Weegs, Ball with Raz, and Bean and Pahal together. So there you go, which leads us into tonight's huge game. And obviously, I don't need to overstate how huge it is. You guys know how big it is being Flames fans. But the Flames are playing the Canucks tonight at home at the Dome. It goes at 7 p.m. And again, This is a huge one for playoff implications, and you can throw out so many other things. But let's dive into some of the reasons why it's so huge. The biggest, of course, is that there is a whole lot of variability in the outcomes for the Flames, who will retain a game in hand afterwards. So no matter what, obviously after this game, the Flames still have a game in hand because last night the Vancouver Canucks lost to the Montreal Canadiens, which is pretty crazy, which means the Flames technically have a scheduled win tonight, and it should be interesting overall. So with the Calgary regulation win, they will be 3 points up on Vancouver, and just keep in mind, we'd have a game in hand. A Calgary overtime or shootout win would mean we're 2 points up on Vancouver. A Vancouver overtime or shootout win would mean we're tied with Vancouver and only ahead on the games played tiebreaker. And then a Vancouver regulation win means we are 1 point behind Vancouver. So obviously we're going to be gunning for the Calgary regulation win. And it's so funny how these kind of rivalries spark up towards the end of the season. The fan bases are going at each other, Flames and Canucks. Who saw that coming this year? But either way, it's a very exciting. Another big note here is that Dustin Wolf will be your starter tonight against the Canucks. The biggest game of his young NHL career so far. I think he plays obviously really well at home. He just plays well in general, but this one is absolutely massive for Wolfie, and you can expect him to kind of stand on his head tonight because he seems like a big game player to me. He just hasn't really had that experience yet at the NHL level, but it'll be fun to watch him play. Next thing is more so focused on the Canucks. So this is a bit of an older update. I don't have an update at the time of recording this either, but Talkit, so obviously the head coach of the Canucks, says he doesn't know yet who will start in goal Wednesday versus the Flames. Quinn Hughes, of course, will travel, and there's a good possibility he could be in. So the Canucks are obviously a way better team when Quinn Hughes plays. I mean, we're kind of fingers crossed he doesn't play, but even if he does, if the Flames beat the Canucks with Hughes, that really shows we are the superior team. But it'll be very interesting to see who does play in between the pipes for the Canucks. If by the time you're watching this video and it has been announced who is confirmed to be the starter, again, feel free to throw it down in the comments as well. Last thing here, this was a great question kind of posed by this Twitter account, of course, is so tonight's Flames game is the biggest game for Calgary since blank. Fill in the blank. It is a huge one, and I wanted to get your guys' opinions on this. Obviously, you think back to like the last huge game for the Calgary Flames, you'd think back to the 2022 playoffs, maybe Game 7 against Dallas or one of those games, elimination games against the Oilers in the second round. I personally think this is probably the biggest game for Calgary since that game where we were playing for our playoff lives when Daryl Sutter was still the coach against the Nashville Predators. Went to a shootout and we put out who? Nick Ritchie. What a mistake that was. I'm pretty sure that this is the biggest Flames game since then, but I want to know your opinions down below. What is this the biggest game since? It should be very interesting to see some of your guys' answers. Now let's wrap up this video with the comment of the day, as we love to do here on the channel. It comes from yesterday's video, of course, and it comes from good old Kayla and Clint, and they say, wow, we could have been picking a top 5 at this year's draft, but this alpha wolf is just leading us to the playoffs. Oh my goodness, Dustin Wolf is incredible. Let's get those 2 points tomorrow, which is of course tonight now. Go Flames, go. Love that comment. Love you so much, buddy. What a good one there. And it's just so true. Wolf really has piggybacked this entire team to the playoffs, and hopefully he can really prove that again tonight. Man, how many times have I crossed my fingers on camera in this video? Either way, it's going to be a massive one. Hopefully Wolfie shines like the star he is. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe like you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.